Hello, I am Brother Kelly Hughes, Chaplain of the Arts. We are broadcasting from the Valiant Theatre here in the heart of Winnipeg's greasy Tenderloin District, just around the corner from Old Market Square, where we are halfway through the Winnipeg Fringe Festival. This is Kelly Hughes Live, Fringe 2025. Whether you are watching on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, our YouTube channel, or if you happen to be listening on 101.5 UMFM, thank you so much for stopping by. We appreciate it. Very excited to have my guests here. My guests, Fedor Ikelaar, Erika McDonald, and the great Paul Strickland. You may recognize him from many woodcut USBs, other down-home technological devices are available. How is everybody?
All right.
Good. Thank you for. Were you up late, Fedor? You're up.
Yes.
Yeah.
quite late. It's very early for me.
Partying like it's 1999. Well, thank you for getting up anyway. Appreciate that. Fedor is doing. He's got the thing. No Die, a wild ride. It is happening over at the Pyramid. And the next show is, what is the date today? Tomorrow, maybe?
Tomorrow.
Wednesday, because this is, people don't know what day it is today. Wednesday at 7. And that is stand-up and storytelling. And there's a picture of him here. I don't know if you can see that on the back of like a moped or whatever you call that. But it sort of looks like you're also driving it. Is that what it's supposed to look like?
No, that's just a very small, tight person driving the motorbike.
Oh,
What? Well, probably normally sized.
Is
I'm just big. I'm big.
Did you have to specifically find a small person so that you would look big? Was that the whole point?
Yeah, it was.
You auditioned.
It was a little bit awkward asking my friend if they wanted to do it just because they're tiny.
Oh.
I did it very carefully.
Paul and Erika, 20-time Best of Fest winners. So I appreciate them coming in because they don't need to be here. 100% Untroubadour, and that is happening at Venue 11, Red River College, just around the corner from here. No show times, which is fine. It's fine. You can figure it out. Look on the internet.
We're on every day.
On every day.
Yep.
All day, all the time. And there's a nice picture of Paul, and I presume that Erika's the cloud.
What are you talking about? Why would you think that?
It kind of looks like. Do you remember the first season of the rebooted Doctor Who? And there is the what's her name? There is the oldest person in the world, and she's just made out of skin. And her name is. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I can't come up with the name.
Yeah. The name is anyway. Not just kind of the
one
eyes.
we often get is the Lady in the Radiator. Looks like the Lady in the Radiator from Eraserhead.
Oh, okay. Is that from
David Lynch's Eraserhead?
No, but that must be from old people because I mean, Eraserhead is.
What? Eraserhead is cool again.
It's cool again.
I mean, yeah, David Lynch just died. People are watching all the movies again, right?
Did he just die?
He did just.
It's
die.
hard for me to remember who's alive and who's dead.
Uh-huh.
You ever see somebody who? Oh, you go, that person's still alive. Oh, this person died 10 years ago. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Honestly, right now, I'm not sure I'm alive. Since I haven't had coffee, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh
Maybe-
no, we should have brought you one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I should have woken up like 5 minutes earlier and just got one. It's fine. It's my fault.
I woke up yesterday and I had the worst pain, and I realized it was kidney stones.
Ooh.
Anybody ever have kidney stones?
No, but I had to
No.
pretend to as a standardized patient.
Yeah.
And when they touch your back
Yeah.
at all, you're supposed to be like, ah, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it thankfully I knew I'd already had it a year or two ago, so I knew it was. But it hurts a lot.
Yeah.
And I had some things to do yesterday, but I didn't have to go to work. I wasn't doing any of these, so it was, got the medication and doing better today. But I'm always kind of worried, like, just sometimes there's lots of things to do, and sometimes you're not feeling well. And like, how sick have you ever been going on stage, or like, because that would kind of be my worst fear, is like, I have to go on stage and I have diarrhea because, yeah.
Definitely had that one. Yeah.
So do you just fill your pants, and what do you do?
It's
Hope for the best.
I've had a few times that I was quite sick when going on stage, and most of the time the adrenaline kicks in
Yes.
and you're fine.
Yeah.
But I had one that I had to was just at a regular stand-up comedy show that I had to cut my set short.
Oh yeah.
But I couldn't see the MC.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I'm like, oh, I'm going to wrap up. Like, panic. I'm wrapping up! And then he came and I ran to the toilet and made it.
Mm.
But I also had one time when I was actually hosting and it drained all the energy out of me. And I couldn't remember any of the names of the comedians, some of them being close friends for years. And I'm just sick and looking at them behind the curtains.
There
like,
is that brain fog that happens sometimes when you're sick, where you're like, even if your body's moving, your brain's like not keeping up.
The last interview that I just did an hour ago, very nice young person named Chance Sabatos, but we talked about Chase Paget so much because he's guesting tonight with Holly Brinkman's show. We said Chase so much. When I was like thanking everybody at the end, I looked at this guy and I thought, I couldn't remember if his name was Chance or Chase. So I just like thanked him without saying his name because I like blanked out. I thought I've been sitting here talking to him for an hour. I can't say that I can't remember what his name is. He didn't. It helps me. This is why, like, because I do so many. This is now your 49, 50, 51. For
we
artists,
feel so special.
Yeah, for artists that I've interviewed. But I need to have. I mean, I remember all you guys, but I need to have the thing, and then I can but Erika, what is the sickest that you've ever been having to go on stage?
I immediately, when you said it, thought of when we were doing 13 Dead Dreams of Eugene, our shadow puppet horror play. When we premiered it, we both caught some kind of flu. And we were doing it at the Twin Cities Horror Festival in Minneapolis. And our tech was on Tuesday and we opened on Friday. It was a brand new show and way more technical than we expected. Shadow puppetry. I mean, every second takes an hour to create that and rehearse that. So it was intense. And we were staying in our friend's basement on like a blow up mattress. And we both were so sick. We did the tech and then we were like, oh, the show's not right. We need to change it. But we're like dragging ourselves around this basement for 3 days trying to get ready for opening. And that is kind of how Eugene stays sometimes in my brain.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That fog of like, we have to keep going because this show is not done. And I am so sick, but there's 3 days till opening. It's that. Is
yours the same story, Paul, or do you have one where you were sicker?
I was actually thinking about what Fedor was saying. I have the thing where I wonder if maybe performing has the same experience as trauma. Like they have,
sure.
People say the thing where you just empty out if you have like a very traumatic experience.
Oh,
I've never had this experience on stage that you're describing because I just if I'm not feeling well, I just go to the bathroom like wild right before the show starts. It's like a problem for me to get to the show because I'm just like, I've got to go to the bathroom. And they're like, you're on in 2. And I'm like, I'll be there. I'll
be there and I'll be empty. He's a consummate professional.
Yeah.
He'll always dump out before the show, not during like Fedor.
Yeah. Sorry, amateur.
Well, no, I think maybe you've got the better response to it. I'm just like, it's like panic or something. It's very strange.
When I was 21, I toured with a company in BC called Pacific Theatre, and we toured all over BC with this show. And we eventually got a trailer, but before we got a trailer, we packed our whole set in the back of this like 15 passenger van, and there was 5 of us, and we jammed the whole back of the set in, and it was a bunch of there was a big car door, and there was a bunch of scaffolding, and there was a bunch of stuff. And I guess, I was 21 and I wasn't really, you're indestructible and whatever. And I guess I wasn't really careful and I wasn't taking care of my back. So I woke up one morning and I couldn't walk. And we were supposed to go on like a 3-week tour of the Vancouver Island. And I couldn't walk. And I didn't know what was wrong. It was just, I was like, so I phoned them because it was 1991 and told them they had to come get me. And they were so mad at me because they were by the ferry. I was the wrong way and I was supposed to take the bus in and I couldn't, literally crawling around on the ground trying to get dressed. So we managed to get out there, caught probably not the right ferry, and got out there. They got me to a doctor somewhere and gave me a bunch of like anti-inflammatories and muscle relaxants, enough so that I could get on stage, because we still had to do the shows. And we were doing our adult show, and I play their high school show. So I play this the kid who's kind of the school jock, but he's selling drugs, right? It was anti-drugs. It was 91. Everything was anti-drugs. And I remember there's a bit where I like kick this garbage can over because I'm mad at, somebody doesn't want to buy drugs with me or whatever. And so I remember, and I'm like this, and then I go like that. And then afterwards I'm like, how'd it look, guys? It looked all right? It was fine. And they're like, I was, hey, I got up there and I did it, and I moved around and I said my lines, right? I mean, the show must go on. Right? Anyway, that was so young to have that happen. I just didn't know what it was. Have you learned yet, Fedor, that you're not indestructible? Is it?
I have actually. I just while you were saying that, remembered. So this is a new show, and I had a bunch of work in progress shows scheduled across the Netherlands, where I'm from, and I got really sick that week. So I actually learned and canceled them, which, as a downside, meant I came here doing the show without really having practiced it.
Was that the thing that Carol was supposed to be on with you?
No,
or was that something else?
We were also kind of going to use that as a work in progress, but then Carol was sick.
She canceled. Okay, yeah.
It's but yeah, I guess we're both now more adults, and then just when we're sick, we're actually.
How much time have you spent in Canada in the last year?
Quite a bit.
Yeah. You made lots of friends here.
I mean, and came here in January, which was a mistake.
Because of the weather.
I've still never been to Winnipeg in January.
Don't.
Okay.
Don't.
Is it as bad as everybody says?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
And you're not from a warm place. I mean, the Netherlands is not.
But it gets like just below zero, not minus 40, which I did not know I didn't know it went that far.
Yeah.
None of the thermometers in the Netherlands go that low. It's like minus 10 is the lowest.
No, the thermometers don't even go that low.
Yeah.
It's just the bottom. Where do you two make your home now?
Us?
Yeah.
We actually have been in the same home for a while. We're in Covington, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you always pretty much travel together?
Well, that's been changing a little bit, but that's the default. Yeah, that's the default. But Paul has been getting very busy, and I have started saying, I don't know that I need to go to every library in.
Yeah, the storytelling stuff has really taken off a lot more for me in the States. And so I've been doing a lot more sort of community events, library shows, storytelling festivals, things like that. And a lot of those are just kind of like either fly me in or just have me in for like 2 days and then I come back. And so some of those Erika comes with me and some of she doesn't.
Yeah,
but our normal.
Yeah, right.
I am.
And also it's just like a long time in a hotel room for no reason when you could stay at home, right?
So how many days a year are you gone?
Last year, 2024, I counted it. I spent over 200 nights not in my own bed.
How about him?
Even more than that.
More than that. I had 174 performances last year. I mean, that is off scale for me, but that was, 174 performances.
So, I mean, what you want is to be busy and you want to be working, but then you don't live anywhere.
We live everywhere.
Yeah, that's the game. Right? You've had the same experience. Yeah.
Well, he literally lives nowhere.
Yeah, no, I don't.
He literally lives nowhere.
Yeah, I'm just full time on the road now.
Yeah. We called it home free when we first met. We always say we moved out together.
People would be like, "So you're homeless?" And we'd be like, "No, we're home free."
Yeah, that sounds a lot better. Yeah. I usually get called a bum, but
right.
You got to reframe it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So nobody ever gets, do you think that you'll be doing it? I mean, you can do that forever. Jim Rowles told me that he's wants to die on stage. So
that
fine.
sounds right.
That would be
Yeah.
correct.
That sounds correct.
Talking, one
Mhm.
presumes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, do what you love. So yeah, doing what you love. I think we're both in a moment right now where we are sort of like in this transitional moment. I mean, I often tell people I'm a very young old person now, and so I feel like
How come you're not a very old young person?
because I was that last year.
Okay.
Yeah. But the truth is, like, I think what happens is you do find these ways in which you just experience the world differently. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been to Winnipeg now 11 times, and this is definitely a different Winnipeg for me in a lot of ways because I've just got other stuff going on,
Yeah.
and I'm still seeing friends, and but it's not, for me this year, it is not about being out and hanging out late because I just feel terrible the next day, and we're on stage every day. And so it's just that thing where I assume I will be doing a lot of touring until I literally cannot do it anymore.
Yeah.
Because when he doesn't get on stage, you just don't want to be around him.
It's true. It's true. If I go 2 weeks without being on stage, I feel like a different person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. I was just saying in my last interview that I'm very ADHD and lots of other things. And so for me, being active and being busy is good. But it's hard because you can't do that. I mean, you need to stop. You need to take a break. Everybody needs to do that. So, for the sake of your body, for the sake of your mind. And so it's hard to for me, it's hard to know. It's hard to listen to my body. It's hard to listen to my brain. It's hard to be like, okay, this is time. I need to do this. What is taking a break exactly? Is taking a break doing nothing, but also doing all these other things? Is it lying on the couch? Yeah, but it's necessary because otherwise you if I go, and then I just completely crater.
Yeah. So, this is going to be a seamless segue into pitching something.
Nice.
And I want to actually comment on this as a human. So in my newsletter that I'm writing, it's called Tell Stories Better. You can go to tellstoriesbetter.com to do that. But the newest article that was out Monday morning was about this exact thing that I'm experiencing right now. And the question I keep asking myself is, am I digging holes or am I planting seeds? And I really do think at some point you do realize that you have run out of seeds and you're still just digging holes. And that's the moment that you sort of feel like bereft and depressed. Like that's the moment where you just run out of energy because it's all dirty fuel at that point. You're just digging for no reason.
And are you digging the hole from inside the hole?
I mean, or you're just digging the same hole and then realize you're inside the hole, right? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I told somebody the other day, I said, you can't dig your way out of a hole. And they were like, what? So I guess you'd still try.
Yeah.
I guess you could still try. It's very interested in all this, stuff right now about how everybody's brains work differently. Because I think that we all end up doing different things, and what your life looks like, that's probably some people in your family think your life is real weird.
All of them.
Most, yeah.
Yes.
But I think their lives are kind of weird. I mean,
breeders.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Really, like some people's. Sometimes, because I move people, that's one of the things I do for money. So I'll, a lot of the stuff I do is kind of quick and dirty, but sometimes I'll be in some big house. I'll be in some big, I have a friend who he basically builds walk-in closets. That's what he does. So that's kind of a specialized thing. So I'll be in I was at some place the other day, I don't know, million, which is a lot for here, $1 million house or whatever. And on the one hand, I think, I don't understand how a person can amass enough money to own a house like this, and then how they can stay in it. You know what I mean? The mechanics of that are lost on me. But then also I think, gross. Like I wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like this is not, oh, I don't like this at all.
It's not your dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's kind of the other thing, is that somebody's really spent a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of focus on getting to this and getting this. And yeah, it's the, so to me, the mystery is the process, but then the actual end.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because the things, I guess, that I think are interesting are not necessarily things that are going to make you money. They're things that I think are worth doing.
Mm-hmm.
And
we got to remember that distinction.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, of course, we all have to do things to make money. You know, Paul probably doesn't want to go to every single library he goes to, but you know, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
that's definitely true. But I think this is the thing, though. There's always, even if you are doing exactly what you feel like you're supposed to be doing, there's always going to be those times where doing the thing makes you question
Mm-hmm.
that thing. You know, I mean, there's no, I mean, I did stand up for 10 years in the States, and it was a coin flip if it was going to be an enjoyable experience if I'd never been there before.
Yeah.
Like when you show up at a gig and you've never been at that gig before, you just walk in there going like, this might be the worst one. Yeah.
How do you feel about that sense of the unknown? Does that give you anxiety? I mean, you've been doing this a long time. You can do it standing on your head, but is there part of you that's a little bit, I don't know, trepidatious when you have to do something different?
I would say it has less to do with with like the circumstances outside of me and more to do with the circumstances inside of me.
Yeah.
If I'm doing a set of new stories, then there's a lot more going on that I feel like I have a lot less control over.
Mm-hmm.
But if I walk
this is good stuff, you should put it in the newsletter.
Oh, thanks. But if I were to, like, if you open this venue next year and I walked and you booked me and I walked in here and I just I didn't recognize you were the only person I recognized in the room, I would do stories I knew really work well, at least to start, to feel out the audience, and then really get a sense of what the vibe of the conversation in the room is. I mean, that's what I feel like we all do, is like, it's like sitting down at a dinner party. You don't like launch into the conversation. You listen to what everybody else is already talking about. So if you can figure out in your show what everybody else's vibe is, then you can kind of tailor your stories to that vibe. And that's what is the exciting part, or the part that really fails hard in a brand new environment, because there is that sort of, you have to prove yourself. There's a lack of innate trust in those environments.
Do you think that listening and reading people is something that most people can't do?
I think it's something. It's a thing that most people do not do well. I think everyone can do it to some degree, and I do think there is like medical evidence that some people have more struggles than others, just chemically speaking. But it is certainly a thing. I think the world would work better if everyone were more capable of listening and translating what people mean out of what they say.
Yeah. It just is a thing that's interesting to me, because I think it's a thing that I'm good at. I've been interviewed by people myself, and like I've been interviewed by people who like will ask me something, and then I'll answer that, and then I'll kind of say something else, and then they'll ask me the next question, which I just answered, but they're looking at their thing and they're not listening. Oh, he just, and what is that thing that he's just said? What does that jump off into? And for me, being ADHD kind of helps with that, because I can bounce all around, and sort of, I wasn't planning on going this way, but Paul said this interesting thing that I want to jump on, and I think that people like to talk about themselves, but I think that it's hard for, and I'm realizing now, because I've been reading about, do you know what ADHD is? It's autism and ADHD and how they kind of collide. And so for that's a thing that I think that I am. And one of the things for autism, they don't really talk about high functioning anymore, because that's sort of not nice to the people in the whole spectrum of things.
Mhm.
They call it high masking for people
Interesting.
who have a lot of these characteristics and are somewhere on the spectrum, but they spend a lot of time figuring out exactly how to fit into a setting.
Mhm.
You might also call it code switching.
Or
where you're-
passing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like if I'm, I remember I had to get a part for my truck, and I had to call all the wreckers looking for this, and I did not like it. And so like I memorized like exactly what this part was that I needed, and and then when I called, I was like, "Hey there, I've got a '99 Toyota 4Runner. Hoping if you could tell me if you've got a rear propeller shaft, like deep in the voice and kind of
Sure.
like,
Mhm.
because I didn't, I never want people to think that I'm not one of them, right?
Mm.
That's why I love the theater people, because the theater people are all just the cast-offs, right?
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
But there is that question of like authentic curiosity, right? Like I think like part of the reason why you're not sticking to a script and we're actually having a good conversation is because you are actually interested.
oh yeah,
And then this
Yeah.
question of code switch. So I'm interested, Fedor, like you travel the world, you go to
Mm.
all of these different cultures. Do you find yourself changing your act depending on and
Yeah,
also the way
yeah.
you interact with people?
Yeah, no, definitely. And for me, that's always the most interesting part is, like you were talking before, when you hit a new room, you test them out,
Mm-hmm.
with stuff that you know.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that figuring out an audience in a different country, figuring out what works, what doesn't work,
yeah.
which references they get, what interests them, that's the fun of it. Like, I always really enjoy that. That's why Canada now, I've been here quite a few times now. It's getting like a bit boring in that sense.
Oh, interesting.
Like I love the Canadian audiences, but now I know, this works, this doesn't work,
Yeah.
etc.
Huh.
I always love like figuring out that new puzzle,
Mm.
and it does definitely differ quite a bit. And also sometimes I discover like, this country, like the audiences resonate less with me and what I have to tell.
Yeah.
Specifically Australia. But
Oh, really? Oh, that's
They
fascinating.
traumatized me. No.
Oh no! Did you do
Yeah.
a Fringe there?
I did the Perth Fringe, Adelaide Fringe, and Melbourne International Comedy Festival.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
but you don't go there anymore because they hate you.
It's mutual. No, they hated me.
You heard it
Absolutely.
here first, folks. Fedor hates the Australians.
Well, no,
it's too bad
definitely gonna
Bennett's
go.
not here
Never-
this year. That'd been fun to have.
Never afraid to be controversial.
It's no, like it went okay, but it's just like I had to adapt my material so much to basically only do dick jokes in the end that I'm like, that's not what I want to talk about. Not that long, at least. A few minutes of dick
Sure.
jokes just to set
That's what Erika does when she's bombing. Is just tell some dick jokes.
Yeah.
Throw them in there.
Yeah.
Erika's what you do. Is it universal?
Oh no. No, and I'm not technically I'm not in my own show here at the Fringe this year, but I just finished making a new solo show that I'm really excited about. I'm hoping to bring here next year.
We hope it too. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to do it at Cincinnati Fringe this past June.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to book it again. But I feel like so it's called Tea Time. Remember that for next year. It's
Tea
about
time?
tea.
Okay.
It's about
Okay.
time. It's great.
Tea and time.
Uh-huh.
Everybody's two favorite things.
Exactly. But I think I've been looking a long time for like what is my category in the theater. I've called myself a theater artist, but then people just think like that means scenic design or something, But because I do puppetry, I do some singing in this show this year. That's
Nice.
mainly what we're doing together, and some storytelling, and it's all kind of based out of my personal life. But it's not stand up. It is sometimes funny, but it's not stand up. It's also not like, here is the story of my life and my trauma. Here you go, check it out. Like it's more idea based,
Yeah.
and experience based, like in the room with the people and what can we do here now. So I've decided to embrace the term performance artist.
Nice.
And I know it's got like, some people are like, oh hell no, I don't want to see that. But
No, it makes me think of the mayonnaise enema, and that's
yeah, good.
you know,
I'm glad you're
Right.
thinking
Yeah,
that.
it's
And-
not like that though.
Uh-huh.
Let's just be clear.
Aw.
yeah, no one will ever top the mayonnaise enema.
yeah.
But it like gives us that sense of how wide the
Yeah.
options are.
Well, and so that's good that you're embracing that, and that you don't feel like, you know, for some people, like, I don't know, if you see a picture of Chase Paget and his guitar, you know what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Because he's that's what he does, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, I because you're interested in different things,
Yeah.
so you don't want to do the same thing all the time because it would be boring for you.
And I don't want, I'm interested in audience members that actually have a curiosity and a spirit of adventure.
Mhm.
And I am not interested in like messing up your day with my show. I'm taking care of my audience always.
Yeah.
But I want to leave you with something you didn't come in with. I want you to have a new question or a new insight or a new idea. And I think a lot of times, when we're just focused on entertainment, when we're just focused on like getting butts in seats, we kind of start dropping the ideas and leaving, right? You end up with all dick jokes because you're like, they don't like any of the rest of it. But I want to reward an audience who is coming in with a real spirit of adventure.
Do you think that Fringe audiences are like that, or do you
I
think
think
they
half
want to
and
know?
half.
Yeah.
I think there are people who come to Fringe but just want a sure bet.
Yeah.
I think there are people who come to Fringe because they're so excited that
Yeah.
they don't know what they're going to get, and they're looking for nutrients, you know?
Well, that's one of the reasons why I always like doing this, because you know, Fringe creators like their reviews as long as they're good. Let me finish that. But you know, a review, I mean, they send all these people out and they're supposed to get all the reviews in by this time, and you're seeing 7 shows a day, and so you know, you get what you get, right?
Yeah.
And you know, you either get a review you can use or you get a review you can't use. So one of the reasons I've always liked doing this, you know, this year and before just on the radio, is so that people can hear what you're about and what you're shooting for and what you're, you know, because I think, well, this person seems like an interesting person. I think I'd like to go see their show.
Yeah.
Because some people are better at finding that hook. You know, they're better at you know, marketing it. You know, they're. I mean, you know, I love Chase. I make fun of him a little bit, but he's a marketing genius, right?
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
He knows what he does and he does it. And some things kind of sell themselves, like the D&D improv show. You know what that's going to be. And so, but I do think that sometimes things can be a little bit of a tougher sell, especially when there's a lot of shows. I mean, Winnipeg is fairly big. This one's bigger, but you know, there's lots of shows and people have, you know, this amount of time and there's this many shows. So you have to decide. I think it's, you know, you two have been coming here for a long time. I think it's tough for, you know, I always get lots of people on who are here for the first time. And they want to come and talk about their show because it's challenging, especially if you get a little bit of a, you know, if you end up at CCFM, which is great, but you're off the beaten track. You're doing, you know, you're from the States, you're doing a 1-person show. Nobody knows you, and people really have to take a flyer on it. You know, and that's really challenging. Do you remember the first time that you came here?
Okay, should I start? Yeah?
Sure.
Yeah. So the first time we ever came to Winnipeg, there were sort of 2 things happening simultaneously. My experience was I was very excited to be here because I'm a giant Guy Madden fan.
Oh, okay.
So I was so excited to be here. And we got here, we got into our tech. We were in our tech for a total of 7 minutes. I walk up on stage and I'm just rummaging around the stage and then I hear a noise behind me. And I turn around.
And well, you turned around and I was gone, right?
Yeah, the speaker that was that was nailed to the drywall of Cinematech at the time fell out of the wall and landed on Erika's neck.
Oh my God. I've never heard this.
So our first experience of Winnipeg was in the hospital.
I got in an ambulance. They put me on a stretcher. I went to the ambulance, went to the hospital. We were opening that night, and we didn't get to finish our tech. And
so then Sam Mullins, I don't know if you remember Sam, but Sam Mullins had just a very easy storytelling show technically. So he was like, if you guys need my last like hour, and we were like, yeah, we desperately do. We got out of the hospital. Erika was able to just like sit still and like run the sound cues. And then we did the show. We had a reviewer that night and we got a 5-star review. That all happened
in the
same day. Right.
And the rest is history.
Well, and the rest is history. And then, the next year we got like a 3-star review from the same reviewer. Like, it's just like these things go up and down, and this is how it works. But yeah, like I definitely think there's this thing that happens, right? Where if you're selling the fish that eat the like dead skin off of your feet, if that's like what you're selling, and then you go to the mall and you set up across from McDonald's and you go, yeah, they have more. They're getting more people, right? You're just not being fair to yourself. You're just not being fair. And at some point, you do have to recognize, like, what you do, both as a brand and like artistically every year. The show that we're doing this year, I feel like we're doing extremely well because it is a very weird show, and I think we are bringing people along. And by the end of the show, 80% of everybody in the room is definitely like, I'm really glad we came to this weird thing. But I do think there are some of the people there that are like, oh, I like it better when Paul's just talking. You know what I mean? And that's okay, as long as you don't go like, why don't I have as many clients as McDonald's has at my fish eating the dead skin off your feet business? Because you've got a fish eating dead skin off your feet business is the actual answer to the problem.
I'm fascinated by this whole fish eating the dead skin off your feet business. Is this something you've thrown around in your head?
So I'm glad you brought it up. Perfect segue into my new bit. No, absolutely not. No,
that's the retirement plan.
Yes, that's my retirement plan. No. I just remember I was actually at a mall in Newport, Kentucky, and there was somebody that actually had just like it's seemingly a DIY. They just had these fish that apparently that's like suck on the bottom of your feet, and it's supposed to be therapeutic or something. And I was like, good on you.
Yeah.
But wow, what a choice.
Do you buy them and take them home, or you just go and you stick your feet in and they take care of the rest?
I think that's right. Now I want to be clear. I am in no way an expert on this subject matter.
I guess I like that better than, for some reason I was thinking they were selling them and you'd have to take them home and then you'd have to have just a bucket of these fish around all the time. You're putting your feet in. No, I get it. I can get behind that. That seems fine.
The business model is amazing because basically people pay you to feed your fish.
That's it.
It's amazing.
Yeah. It's a brilliant business. Yeah, absolutely. But again, not high margins, right? You're not going to make $1 million with your eating dead skin off your feet fish business. And I think that's what I'm saying is like in the Fringe, it is so important to recognize who your audience might be and what the ceiling for that is. If you hit that ceiling, whatever that ceiling is, which is not going to be Chase's ceiling, it's not going to be Penny's ceiling. When you hit that ceiling, you won. And give yourself the credit and take some of that pressure off and stop comparing yourself to people that are running a McDonald's, because it's you're the one that's being silly when you're standing there with your fish eating dead skin off people's feet going like, hamburgers, why does everybody like hamburger? Like you're the one that sounds silly.
Can you call yourself a brand without being douchey?
I don't know. Did I do it?
Well, no. You're talking about your brand, and the reason it's just kind of a serious question because I said that the other day to my partner Andy. I said we were just having I don't know if probably Andy's not going to watch this, but we were having a discussion about. Andy said, you got all this stuff going on. Why are you doing all these interviews? You've got things to do, and you're not getting. Nobody's paying you for it, and whatever. And I said it's part of my brand. And then I kind of thought, well, I said it. But I mean, it's shorthand. It's shorthand for. I mean, um, this is part of my core beliefs. This is tied into all these other things that I'm doing. This is it's kind of shorthand for as long as you don't call yourself an influencer. I think
Oh
probably
yeah, yeah, no, that's fine.
Sure.
a story influencer probably we're fine. But
Mm.
no, I just kind of it's this interesting thing because I had one of my Kelly Hughes lives I did years and years and years ago. I had the artistic director of MTC on, and I think it was the year they were doing like, I don't know, the first show was like Grumpy Old Men the musical or something, and I was sort of asking about, like, you know, um, uh, I asked a question about the kind of stuff they were doing. I don't remember exactly what I asked, but I remember his answer, which was, how unpopular does it have to be before you consider it art? And
Mm.
that said where he was. That said where he was at.
Yeah.
But it is interesting because I feel like there's sort of if it's a thing that you're trying to do for a living, you do have to make money. You do have to get people to come. We live in a modern age, where you have to put the stuff on the socials and you have to use technology, and you need to pay for your mortgage because for your house and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, you don't want to lose sight of why you were doing it, because I have interviewed a couple of people in this last week who, are, I felt like they're doing their shows because it's a thing that they know how to do, and they're entertaining, and all that kind of stuff is all fine, but it's less interesting to me because I like people that are I like people that kind of you want your audience to get something, you want them to be curious. Fedor wants his audience not to hate him.
Wow, I feel that's already asking too much. To be honest. No, but to be honest, for me. That's actually where Fringe comes in because large part of the year I'm just doing clubs, and of course still I choose topics I want to talk about, but then I cater a little bit more to the audience. Where at the Fringe, I pick a bit more what do I really want to talk about, and purposely pick stuff that I don't do at a comedy club because it doesn't fit, or it might be a little bit too much story for a stand-up club. So for me, that's actually where the Fringe comes in to talk about the stuff I really want to talk about, and make not enough money to pay the mortgage. Take care of that after Fringe season.
Right, and you have no mortgage because
that's
don't live anywhere. Well, this just for those of you who are watching and are not familiar, we are in an old church that we're turning into a performance space called the Valiant Theater, and one of our big slogan is "Art will save us all." I don't know if you can see this back here, but and to me, I feel like people need us. I feel like people, especially now, and I know that neither of you do very super overtly political stuff. I actually had.
I wouldn't say that's true for Erika.
Yeah.
I would say that Erika does some stuff that is pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Then you.
Yeah, for sure.
Mr. Middle of the Road.
Yeah. I mean, again, that's a whole hour-long discussion.
Yeah.
I do think the stuff that I do is like actually extremely, extremely mindful of a way to reach a sort of political conversation. Like I'm trying to get people to actually have conversations with each other that do not agree with one another, which I think is a lot bigger work than just saying this is what I believe. Deal with it.
So now the world. There's a lot of things going on in the world, and there's a lot of things going on in your country. What do you think, Paul? What do you think the audience needs from you? What do you want to give them?
I want the audience to walk away being willing to ask questions and create questions. in the world. That's what I
Mm.
want. If people were more interested in listening to one another, then I think there would be more actual dialogue and less of this head-buttedness that's happening, which has gotten us where we've
People
gotten.
get so entrenched.
And they don't listen to one another.
And I saw this interesting thing. It was Mehdi Hassan, who was doing and he's like a lefty Oxford, trained guy who is an American now, but he's English. And he did this thing where he, it's kind of like that speed chess thing. So there's like 20 like young, I don't know if they were, high school seniors or what, but they're young, like right wing kids, and they all come at him one at a time, and they get a certain amount of time, and they argue with him, they debate with him. But the interesting thing to me was he was completely owning these kids, and they didn't know it. Do you know what I mean? Like they were cheering for each other, and you know what I mean? Like they were clearly losing. So this is one thing that I've noticed is even people don't even accept defeat even when it's there. These arguments have become kind of logic proof. So do you feel like no?
I think in the short term that's true.
Yeah.
But I think over the long, I do think that long term we're going to see what we're experiencing right now end up evening out. I think people will get back to a place where they're just they will realize they are exhausted of hating one another, and eventually it will even out, and then it will start over again, and we will have this sort of cycle reoccur. You were talking about brand earlier. I just want to say, like, I think that the way that you can actually talk about brand is the question of how people feel about your product. So if you are an artist, if you want to talk about brand, like when I think of Cherry Coke Zero, I immediately get very excited. This is the thing about how you deal with brand as an artist, and this is how you deal with, I feel like, communication as an artist. What is it that your audience leaves with? What is the feeling that they think of whenever they associate, like they open the program and they see you there? If they think to themselves, I'm going to have a really good time, then they're going to come to your show, right? If they think to themselves, like, I've had really good experiences when I've come to that show and I always leave like in a thoughtful place, and that's a good thing for them, they're going to come to your show. That's how brand works. It's about the feeling that you give your audience, and the feeling that they associate with you. I think this is actually super key to how we can communicate with one another in a more impactful way, is to stop going, I'm going to win this conversation, and to start going, how can I leave that person with a really good feeling about the conversation that we had, so that we can continue this conversation in the future, and then I can be more influential upon that person next time we have that conversation.
Erika, does Paul ever do the head thing at home that he just did there?
Not.
I didn't notice it.
Oh, you didn't notice it? Yeah, he did a whole head thing.
Yeah.
Erika,
Yeah, a little bit of sassy.
Erika, when I say Paul Strickland Zero, how does that make you feel?
Oh God, like a Cherry Coke Zero, but Paul Strickland Zero? No, thank you.
No.
No.
What do you want your audience, whether it's this show or your own show, what do you want your audience to walk away with? What do you think that you have to give to the world?
It's funny. I'm a person, this may not make any sense, but I love people.
We're with you so far.
I have always loved people, despite any evidence that I should or should. Do you know what I mean? I like meeting new people. I like being around people. I also like being alone, but just to your balance point. But I think I don't think that is where a lot of us are starting right now. It is from a place of like loving just the existence of another person. And I'm not saying agreeing with them, right? But I want to create that feeling in the room of trust and of we're here together right now.
Yeah.
So I think it's almost less about what you leave with than just what happens in this time.
Yeah.
And then and how does that allow you to feel change? You know?
So you are as hopeful as Paul, you think?
I do have hope. And I do think that what we are doing is essential work. I really do. I think that art is it's insane. It doesn't make sense. And that's what's powerful about it. Is that it's not about it making sense for your living or it's not about winning an argument. It's about the feeling, it's about the communication, it's about the changing.
And I think that I agree that really nothing can help a person think better than experiencing art.
Yeah.
You can argue all you want, but I remember I was a young, probably still conservative. I grew up in like this evangelical church, and I was a conservative young guy, and it took me a long time to kind of work my way out of that. But I do remember going to see, so I don't remember what year this was, but I remember going to see The Crying Game in the theater. And I remember, I won't give it away, but I remember the scene where there's kind of the big reveal. And I remember being like, oh my God, what's wrong with that girl? She's deformed. What's wrong with her? It took me like 1, 2, 3. So here was a thing that I hadn't really, it's not really a thing that I thought about, but I had become invested in these characters. And then you kind of say, oh, well, why would I have anything against these people? Because these people are just trying to be happy. And it's one thing to tell somebody that, and it's another thing to show them in a way that, and I kind of like I'm a sucker for a movie that kind of punches you in the gut a bit, has a little bit of a surprise, a little bit of a, it's so hard to surprise people now because everybody knows everything and everybody knows how to find everything out. And now we've got so much sludge AI that it's hard to even know what's even real. So that's its own thing.
Well, that's again, I think where live theater comes to the rescue. Is we're actually real people. We're actually here in this room together. It's not
interacting with one another as humans.
Yeah.
I mean, I keep saying this over and over again. Do you know what the most boring thing in the world is? Watching two chess computers play chess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's the most boring thing ever.
I was going to say watching baseball, but
okay. But watching
close second.
Yeah, close second. But the only thing that people talk about whenever you watch two great chess masters play chess is what they could have done or what mistakes they might have made. That's what's interesting.
Yeah.
Why did he make that mistake? Was it a mistake? Is he trying to convince the other guy to make a different mistake? Yeah, computers are just making the right move or like trying to guess based on some sort of algorithm.
And there is something about watching people. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I love doing this on video is because I like to, when I listen to podcasts, I like podcasts where they're also filmed. Because sometimes I'm like, these people are having a discussion and I'm just listening and then I'm like, I gotta see what their faces are doing.
Yeah.
Because I want to know what's, I mean, I can hear their voices, but I really want to see, and some people, pull great faces, and that's kind of part of the experience. Fedor, who do you like better, people or animals?
Yeah, my taste. You know what I'm going to answer. I haven't lost faith in humanity, but my retirement plan is to, when I'm done with people, I'm just going to start an animal shelter. And that's
I had this guy on in the last interview, Chance Sabatos, who said that he did a 5-year degree in theater. I don't know, it was 5 years, and he said he's just decided 3 months ago to quit, and he's going to go into veterinary medicine,
Nice.
which I thought was kind of interesting. We, my partner and I have rescued or adopted or fostered over 200 animals, and we spent a lot of time at the vet. I was there yesterday. We just put our dog down because he had cancer, and I'm there in an hour. I got to go down there because one of the cats is just getting a checkup. But we spent a lot of time at the vet, and I just think that's animals rely on us so much, and dogs and cats specifically. I had an interesting conversation with Ross McMillan, who's got a show called Dog, and he was saying something that I've said lots, which is, dogs and cats, they evolved along with us. We brought them up with us, and there's no, we can't send them back out into the world. They're with us, and so we have to take care of them.
Yeah, it's our responsibility.
Fedor, he went. Was that last year or 2 years ago? You went to Ukraine.
Well, the first time was 2 years ago, briefly after more already. Anyway, shortly after the full-scale invasion, but I've been again in last December.
Yeah. And what were you doing when you were there?
So first time I went was to help an animal shelter because they were when the full-scale invasion had just started, they couldn't get supplies anymore. They were struggling. They were getting more and more animals because people left their animals behind. So there were 3,500 animals at some point, and 10 volunteers to take care of them.
Oh my God.
At first I just went to deliver them stuff. Now the infrastructure of getting stuff delivered works again. So now I just mainly did fundraisers to get the money to get the stuff.
And this is a thing that, obviously in any kind of situation like that, the human toll is terrible. But a thing that people often forget about is people's pets, because people leave. We had forest fires this year in Manitoba, and up north in Flin Flon, which is, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours north or something. And they people had to evacuate the whole town, and it's a fairly, several thousand people, fairly large town. Ended up completely encircled in fire, and they had firefighters literally just keeping it. There were like 3 different fires, and they joined up, and they were like this, and people had to a lot of people, because of the way that they were evacuated, had to leave their animals. And there were 2 people. There was a guy and his wife who went around for whatever it was every day for 3 weeks, and found and took care of all the animals, fed them and gave them water, broke into houses in this whole town. They did that for 3 weeks, and I was reading about them, and I kind of teared up, because I'm like, this fire is raging, and they're going around and making sure that every little dog that's somebody had to leave in the house, or the scared cat that's underneath the porch, that they're getting taken care of, which is kind of
Yeah. I mean, that similarly, one of the reasons I ended up going to Ukraine first time, just how impressed I was with those 10 volunteers that stayed there, because at some point they were meters away from like the front line. They were in between enemy lines actually at some point, and they still decided like these animals are our responsibility to take that risk and stay. So that's why they made such a big impression just with their dedication. And also originally I had a tour of shows planned in Russia and canceled those.
Yeah,
so
Sure.
it's not like I had anything better to do.
Yeah.
fuck them. Fedor Ikelaar's show is called No Die. It's a wild ride. It says hilarious, near death. There's lots of good trying not to die. There's lots of good keywords. So we call those keywords in there. And that is next show is Wednesday at 7. Is that right?
Yeah.
And that is over at the Pyramid. Is there a bar in there?
There is a bar, so there is alcohol. So you can, after
You can-
this humongous long walk over there, you can rehydrate.
Yeah.
That's
That's
I've
him.
been fascinated with how Canadians, like, it's such a big country, but when it's 800-meter walk, everyone's like, "Whoop, no."
100% untroubadour is Paul Strickland and Erika McDonald, not necessarily in that order. And that is over at Venue 11, Red River College, every single day. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Kelly.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. Stay tuned for lots more. And as we say, maybe we can say this together. Art will
Save us all!